The Dogon Sirius Mystery. The mythology and folklore of indigenous people is often written off as exactly that, legends and parables used to remember elders and teach younger generations lessons about morality. But what about a tribe whose lore gives a precise location of astronomical bodies and phenomena that weren't discovered by modern science for hundreds of years? The Dogon are that tribe, and they have known for centuries that their ancestors are descendants of a species from the Sirius star system, 8.5 light years away. The Dogon tribe's secret knowledge and wisdom. The Dogon inhabit an area of Mali called the Bandiagro Escarpment, a stretch of sandstone cliffs nearly 100 miles long and reaching up to 1,500 feet high. Taking advantage of the area for its natural protection, the tribe built their homes on the side of the cliffs during the 3rd century B.C., and have remained there since. But it wasn't until the 1930s that French anthropologists discovered their strangely advanced astronomical knowledge, despite maintaining a very primitive lifestyle. Although the Dogon live in an area more than 2,000 miles from Egypt, they have a history that appears to have some intriguing connections with their famed, ancient lineage that hint at some connection to the stars. Upon studying the Dogon tribe, anthropologist Marcel Griaule learned of their obsession with the Sirius star system. While Sirius A is visible to the naked eye, its companion white dwarf, Sirius B, was not discovered until the 1950s with an advanced telescope. The Dogon, however, was well aware of its presence as well as its orbital period, describing its existence before it was confirmed years later. The Dogon are intimately familiar with the system, where a race of beings from Sirius is said to have traveled hundreds of years ago and imparted their knowledge to the tribe. These beings, known as the Namos, were amphibious beings from the same star system as the Egyptian god Isis. The Dogon also claim that there is a 3rd star in the Sirius system that has yet to be discovered, and gravitational observations might prove their claim to be true. Were the Dogon visited by spiritual beings or ancient astronauts? Or did the anthropologists who first studied them carry out an elaborate deception by giving them astronomical insight to regurgitate in front of a camera? In-depth knowledge of the Sirius star system? Without a doubt, however, the most startling knowledge was regarding Sirius, a star that the tribe held in the highest esteem. Indeed, it was from this part of the universe that Nomo came. What was of particular interest, though, was the assertion of the tribe's elders that Sirius was not merely a single, bright star but a 3-star system. Ultimately, it was Griaule's understanding that the tribe was claiming these otherworldly visitors came from the Sirius star system. And what's more, although the modern world was aware of Sirius, it is almost certain that the Dogon tribe was not, as it was not visible to the naked eye. Even more amazing, although there is evidence to suggest the possibility of a 3rd star in the Sirius system, it is yet to be confirmed and was certainly not thought to be the case at the time of Griaule's visits with the tribe. Griaule, along with Germain Dieterlen, would release their findings in 1950 in the paper A Sudanese Sirius System. A decade and a half later, and 9 years after Griaule's death of a sudden heart attack in 1956, the book Le Renard Pale, The Pale Fox, was published based on his and Dieterlen's work. It is this point that would cause much debate as to its authenticity, as well as being the spark that caused Temple to proceed with his research into the mystery. Incidentally, before we move on to the theories of Temple, we should note that upon hearing of Griaule's death, the Dogon tribe would hold a special funeral ceremony for him, perhaps showing the genuine respect they had for him. A brief look at the Sirius star system. Before we examine the work of Robert Temple, it is perhaps worth taking a little time to go over what we know about the Sirius star system, and when we realized it. Given that Sirius is the brightest star in our skies, it's not surprising that the Dogon, and other civilizations from or dating back to the ancient world, hold it in such high regard. Perhaps just to demonstrate this further, Sirius A, the main star in the system and the first discovered, is twice the size of our Sun and has 25 times the luminosity. While Sirius, or what we now call Sirius A, has been visible for as long as humans have walked the earth, and there are plenty of references in the writings of the ancient world to demonstrate this. The discovery of a second star, Sirius B, was not known to the modern world until 1862, courtesy of astronomer Alvin Clark, although German astronomer Friedrich Bessel had noticed anomalies in the region where the second star would eventually be discovered in 1844. It wasn't, however, photographed until 1970, 2 decades after Griol and Dieterlen's paper was published. How, then, did the Dogon tribe have knowledge of Sirius B in their creation stories before the modern world? How, indeed, did they know of the rings of Saturn, which are only visible with a telescope? The same can be asked for the 4 main moons of Jupiter and perhaps even the state of the moon, which, right up into the modern world, serious thinkers were still debating might be inhabited. It was these points that so intrigued Robert Temple. The work of Robert Temple. Temple would focus on the creation myths of the Dogon tribe. And what's more, he would draw comparisons with many other creation stories around the world. 1. Perhaps one of the most intriguing comparisons is to Oannes of Sumerian mythology, one of the most intriguing, alongside the myths of ancient Egypt, in the ancient astronaut community. Oannes, for example, was also an aquatic half-man, the half-fish entity who also began. Many ancient astronaut theory researchers who look at Sumerian mythology suggest these Sumerian deities were the Anunnaki. What is also interesting, although we should take such claims with an equal pinch of salt, are those who make connections with the Anunnaki and apparent reptilian entities, who, of course, would match the aquatic origins quite neatly. In fact, it was Temple's view that such gods as Nomo and Oannes were one and the same. And what's more, they spread their influence around the globe, from Mesopotamia to the ancient lands of Egypt and Greece to Mesoamerica. He would also look at the apparent claims of a third star, the proposed Sirius C, in the Sirius system and see if these claims might be correct. In 1995, 3 years before Temple reissued the Sirius Mystery, 2 French astronomers, Daniel Benest and J.L. Duvant, would release data on their research that suggested anomalies in the Sirius system. What's more, they suggested that the presence of a third, smaller star in the system would, in theory, explain these anomalies. The third star remains unconfirmed, with many mainstream astronomers certain that it simply does not exist. Of course, whether its presence will be confirmed in the future remains to be seen. If it were, of course, that would make the claims of the Dogon tribe even more remarkable, a connection with multiple ancient civilizations. It is certainly an interesting notion. And the idea of the ancient astronaut theory is nothing new to those in the UFO community today. Might this, for example, explain why such great civilizations as ancient Egypt seemingly began at the height of their power, as if they suddenly got a kickstart, and then went into what even mainstream historians will call a permanent decline? Might this surge of knowledge have been passed to these various civilizations at the same time? After all, there is evidence to show that very similar styles and ways of building began around the same time in the ancient world. Why is it, for example, that such behemoth-like structures as the pyramids, to name one, were built using huge, gigantic blocks of stone, and yet those that came after were built with much smaller materials? Is this another hint that such projects had an exterior and far superiorly advanced assistant? It is interesting, however, that the original work of Griol did not mention any belief in a real connection to physical extraterrestrial entities arriving on Earth. He merely relayed the creation stories of the Dogon tribe. Other researchers would then add this interpretation in the years that followed. However, the fact that such creation stories from right around the world speak of the same or very similar things should alert us to the idea of an original source which such legends all stemmed from. Amphibious, godlike beings appeared in other ancient cultures outside of the Dogon. Aquatic beings were depicted in mythologies from Babylonia to Greece, and even Slavic nations. One interesting connection that some have drawn with the Dogon is that of the Dogo in Japan. Alternative theories point to statues of the dog, whose name is similar to Dogon, that resembles an astronaut or being in a spacesuit. The Dogon are thought to have arrived in flying ships, bringing written language in many aspects of civilization to the Japanese. Interestingly, there is a deity known as Dogon or Dogon in ancient Mesopotamian lore, who is depicted as a merman or fish god. This depiction can also be found in the Hebrew Bible. But the Dogon's connection with Egypt is the most intriguing argument in their defense against the criticism of Sagan and pragmatists. The language that the Dogon use to describe the Sirius star system consists of ancient Egyptian words that have not been used for centuries. Other similarities between the two cultures can be seen in the way they organize their civilizations, such as the creation of an upper and lower kingdom and a 360-day calendar. The Dogon do not have a written language to this day and continue to pass down their history to select members of the tribe by word of mouth. The Dogon were also very aware of our location within the Milky Way galaxy and knew of the state of Sirius B, which is an incredibly dense and dying star. This curiosity also led them to make further discoveries regarding human anatomy long before Western discoveries were made. So, who were these Sirius star aliens that this enigmatic tribe met more than 600 years ago? The Dogon called them Numos or Namos, beings that were mostly aquatic but could also move on land. They only appeared to be a small subset of the Dogon tribe because prolonged contact with humans would be detrimental to their health. In some accounts, the Dogon speak of the Namos as being non-physical. Every 60 years, when Sirius appears between two mountain peaks, marking a cycle in its orbit, the Dogon holds a celebration called Sigi. Leading up to the celebration, the younger men of the tribe sequestered themselves from the rest of the group for a few months. During this time, they speak in a secret language. Sigi itself can last for long periods of time. The most recent celebration lasted 6 years. During these celebrations, the Dogon's knowledge is passed on to future generations, but there is supposedly secret information regarding their knowledge that has not left the tribe.